The honourable member from Charlottetown-Belvedere.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With your indulgence, this may run a little longer than 90 seconds, but hopefully not too much. I won't speak overly. The federal budget tabled yesterday is not an austerity budget, but it is one of restraint and long-term planning and investment after the massive pandemic support spending of the past 2 years. There is a noticeable focus on three main areas: housing, climate action, and public health. What I found missing throughout was any sense of urgency or scale. And for these files in particular, that's a real problem. I wanted to take the opportunity today to highlight some initiatives that have direct relevance or impact to islanders. In public health, we see the initial commitment to universal dental care. For PEI, the question is how we will benefit, as our dental programme already exceeds the federal offer. There is also additional funding to help the provinces clear some of the backlog of cancelled or delayed medical procedures, needed as soon as possible. An expansion of the student loan forgiveness programme for nurses and doctors who work in rural or remote areas holds some promise to help recruitment of healthcare workers to PEI. And an investment to the Canadian Institutes of Health Research for research into long COVID is very welcome. Investment and commitment to climate action are completely overshadowed by the federal government decision to greenlight the Bay du Nord oil project in Newfoundland, which flies in the face of the federal government's climate action goals. The expansion of the zero-emission vehicle purchase incentive to include medium and heavy duty will perhaps be enough to finally persuade some of our ministers to give up their F-150s. It is, however, very encouraging to see investment in the Nature Smart Climate Solutions Fund to support projects that conserve, restore and enhance wetlands, peatlands and grasslands to capture and store carbon, and to see significant investment to help our agricultural sector find sustainable solutions to address climate change. There are, of course, a raft of new and expanded housing programs for affordability, greener construction, first-time buyers, and to curb foreign investment and investor speculation. In particular, we see support for non-market housing options for the first time in a long time, including funding more affordable and energy-efficient rental units through direct-to-developer loans with a forgivable portion for exceeding targets, new funding for a reboot of cooperative housing development, multi-generational home renovation tax credits, and support for rent-to-own options. The caveat with these is that many of these programs have spending allocated over the next 5 years, when the need is immediate and long overdue. We need that now. We must also be cautious of any first-time buyer incentives that drive demand when supply remains incredibly limited and prices continue to rise exponentially. And you cannot save money you do not have, no matter the incentives provided. Finally, the incentive to substantially increase the labour market to build these homes are not there. The bottom line is that these measures are too little too late for the housing crisis and do not address the root causes of it, including the immediate supply issue and the commodification of housing as assets rather than homes. However, this budget does announce a federal review of housing as an asset class in order to better understand the role of large corporate players and investment speculators in the market and the impact on Canadian renters and homeowners. This is a clear statement on the role and impact of large investors, and one that we have never heard from this provincial government. Further details on that review will be released later this year, Mr. Speaker. Finally, it is great to see the specific initiatives of financial support for the PEI potato sector. It is not enough dollars, and I am sure we will see our minister back at the table to seek a more robust response, but it is a good start. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.